Alright guys, welcome to Professor's Chamber, and today we are going to be talking about differentiation of some basic function. So as you can see, there are 5 basic functions in calculus. The number 1 function, 5 basic calculus and 5 basic functions rather. So we have the logarithmic function, the inverse function, then the algebraic function, then we have the trigonometric function and exponential function. So we are going to be looking at this function one after the other, and I'm not going to waste much of your time. I'm just going to go straight to the point so that you can understand it. So first, I'm going to start with algebraic function. So how to find the differentiation of any algebraic function. For example, any algebraic function. Now, for example, I said y is equals to 3x squared. Now, this kind of function is an algebraic function. Why? Because of the x and the y. So, it's an algebraic function. So, in differentiating something like this, there are 2 things that you need. Number 1, you need to know what a coefficient is. And you need to know, number 2, you need to know what power is. So what's the meaning of coefficient and what power is? So for example, as you can see, if you are to differentiate this 3x squared, please, now you will discover that if you are to differentiate this 3x squared, now if you are asked what is the coefficient of x squared, coefficient of x squared is 3. Coefficient of x squared is 3. So please take note of that 2 things, coefficient and power. And what is the power of x? The power of x is 2. So once you know coefficient and power, then you can be able to differentiate. You can be able to do any kind of differentiation algebraically. So now, what you need to do is you just simply need to use this formula that says that if you are differentiating, if you have y which is equal to x raised to the power of n, then the dy, the x will be equals to nx n raised to the power of nx raised to the power of n minus 1. So this is the basic formula you are going to use in order for you to solve this question. Now look at this. Y is equals to 3x squared. Now this n, as you can see, this n stands for the power that the x is carrying. The power that the x is carrying. Please take note. So what you simply do is you simply multiply the power by the coefficient and you subtract 1 from the power. It's as simple as that. You multiply the power by the coefficient and subtract 1 from the what? From the power. So let's take this. For example, if you have y which is equals to 3x squared, what you simply do there, then the derivative of this will give you what? That is going to be 3 times 2. Don't forget that the power is what? Is 2. So it's going to be coefficient multiplied by the power. Then x. Then you're going to subtract 2 from it. So which is going to give you what? 6x raised to the power of 1, because 2 minus 1 will give you 1. Then and x raised to the power of 1 is still x, so it's going to be 6x. So it's as simple as. So I'm going to take another example. If y is equal to, let's say, 4x raised to the power of half, then plus 2x, then plus 1. So as you can see, in this kind of question, what you simply need to do, you need to, now if you are asked what is the coefficient of x raised to the power of half, the coefficient is 4. What is the coefficient of x here? The coefficient is 2, and this one is not having a coefficient. So now, and what is the power of x here? The power of x is half. What is the power of x here? The power of x here is 1. So since you know it, you simply go by the formula that says that the derivative of this will be what? Will be 4, that's the coefficient, multiplied by the power, then x, then multiply by x, then you subtract 1 from the power, then plus the power of x here is 1 and the coefficient of x here is 2. So it's going to be 2 multiplied by 1 multiplied by x raised to the power of 1 minus 1, then plus the derivative of any constant value. Is what? Is 0. So you put 0. So even though it is 1000, then it is 0. Then even though it is w, or you are differentiating with respect to y and x. So now you can discover that this one is not having x. So which means that the derivative will be 0. So that is that. Then the y, the x will be equal to 2 here 1, then 2 here 2. So it's going to be 2 times 1, that's 2. That's 2x raised to the power of, when you subtract half from 1, you are going to have minus half, then plus 2 times 1 will give you 2x, then x raised to the power of what? Of 0, because 1 minus 1 will give you 0. Then your dy dx will be equals to what? 2x raised to the power of minus half raised to the power of minus half, then plus 2. Anything raised into the power of 0 is 1. When you check a video, I did a video on the laws of indices, so anything that is raising the power of 0 is 1. So that is your answer. Okay guys, so the next one we'll go into is the logarithmic function. So now if you are given y is equals to log x raised to the power of a, so it's simple. The derivative of this, let me just go straight to the point. I don't need to try to prove anything, but I will make a video on how to show you how to do it. But the derivative of this, once you are given something like this, the derivative is very simple. Now notice that this is log x base a, right? So now you are going to simply remove this x and put it at the back of the log as 1 over x, as you can see. Then you repeat the log again. You see, you repeat the log again. Then you are going to replace, since you've removed this x and put it as 1 over x, then you are going to replace this one by e. Then you repeat this base. So that is the derivative of when you have something like this. Then if you have something like this, y is equal to log x base e. You can see now this e means the natural base or natural logarithm. So this e means the natural logarithm. Yes, but this a is not a natural logarithm, but this e is a natural logarithm. So it's very simple. You repeat the same thing I said. It's going to be this x, you put it at the back, you put it as the back as 1 over x and log. Then here you replace it with e and you repeat this e. So don't forget that log e base e will give you 1. So you are going to have 1 over x. That's into 1, then which is equals to what? 1 over x. Then finally, if you have y is equals to 2 raised to the power of x, your dy dx or your derivative will give you what? 2 raised to the power of x in what? In 2. So simple. And even though if it is y, which is equals to 7 raised to the power of x, your dy dx will still be what? 7 raised to the power of x in 7. So it's as simple as that. For the trigonometric function, if you have y is equal to sine x, so what you just simply need to do, the derivative of sine x is equal to cos x. And if you have y is equal to cos x, then the derivative of cos x is negative sine x. And if you have y is equal to tan x, then the derivative of tan x is equal to sec square x. So that is for the trigonometric function. And lastly, we are going to look at the exponential function. The exponential function. So for the exponential function, if you are given y is equal to e raised to the power of x, so your dy dx, I think this one is quite simple. Your dy dx is e raised to the power of x. So it's as simple as that. Thank you very much for watching. Do well to like, share, comment, and also subscribe. Thank you.